Please be seated. So this is our 168th commencement exercise. It's not only the first time we've ever done it in small pods, but this is the first and hopefully the only time, certainly the only time today, that we're doing a graduate commencement exercise. So the 4 previous pods, as everybody knows, were undergraduate ceremonies. And in each and every case, from my standpoint, it's been really uplifting to enter here at Campus Center and hear pomp and circumstance again after everything we've gone through to get to this moment where there could be a little bit more uplifting pomp in the song and, you know, all the circumstances we've had to deal with all year and over the last 15 months. So I do want to welcome everybody by just saying good afternoon for our closing pod commencement ceremony today. You never know what's going to happen, so you just go with what happens, right? It's interesting, I'll share this. This is, we learned this week that a professor of business who retired about 20 years ago and had worked here for about 20 years also graduated from Heidelberg in 1951. His name is Bill Wickham. His father was President Terry Wickham. The Wickham Great Hall is named after President Terry Wickham. And Bill told us this week that he graduated right here, outdoors, in 1951. And to this moment, no one here had shared with me over the last 12 years since I've been here that we'd had an outdoor commencement at this location. Until we went to the stadium, that wasn't shared with me. So this may be the first time in 70 years we've commenced right here. And I think that's wonderful. If our Board of Trustees were here, in particular our chair, Kathy Geyer, she would share congratulations and greetings to each and every one of you and to all of the family members. She's also a Heidelberg College graduate. She could not make it here, so I pass that along on her behalf. We're going to hear a number of music recordings, and I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the fact that that performance by the Heidelberg University Graduation Band is led by Assistant Professor John Waters. He's a music professor, and he directs all the bands. And so you're going to hear their music in the background here later as well, but I wanted to acknowledge that. So imagine this, in 1854 we had 2 graduates. That was the first of the 168 ceremonies. 2 graduates, 1 man, 1 woman. I'm not sure what tree they were standing next to, maybe it was here or across the street. I think the Reverends Rubius and Jeremiah Good were probably the attendees giving the degrees. We've come a long way. We have 267 graduates today, 81 of whom are graduate students. And roughly about half of you are in the ceremony here today, which is fabulous. At this moment, though, I think we have to recognize that it's the families and friends, perhaps the teachers and coaches you've had in the past that got you here, that helped make it possible for you to either get to graduate school in the counseling program or graduate school in the business program, whether you attended Heidelberg undergrad or not. There are a lot of people behind here who made it possible for you to succeed. And they may be members of your immediate family now. If you're in the graduate counseling program, you may have an additional family here that you've brought to celebrate. I'd like everybody who's a graduate to stand up, turn around, give an ovation of gratitude to the members of your family behind you. See if you can find them in the crowd, and we're going to support you in that. We need to thank our faculty, our staff, the administration, the coaches who made it possible for us to get through the year. So a number of you who are in the MBA program, in fact, most of the students in the Graduate Business Administration program were undergrads here, and most of the students in the Graduate MAC program, the counseling program, were not Heidelberg undergrads. But the graduate programs would not have succeeded if the undergraduate program hadn't succeeded. The whole university had to be successful, and to be successful we had to be healthy and get through the year. And so thanking everybody who had a part in that, including alumni and trustees along the way, but in particular the faculty, because of what they had to do making that pivot and that shift a year ago March to conclude last year's programming, but then to come into this year's programming to deliver your graduate year successfully. And the members of the faculty in the graduate counseling program and the MBA program are here, and everybody deserves credit for working really hard, but it's the faculty that deliver the core reason for being here and the reason why you would choose us as a school. And so I extend my personal and professional appreciation to all the faculty members in both programs for doing what you did, and everybody had to work a lot extra to pull it off, and we did, so thank you. I also want to thank 3 students who are making this graduation ceremony weekend possible. So a couple days ago, we recorded a graduation video that was posted 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock yesterday. If you haven't seen it, I encourage everybody to take a look at it. There are a couple of addresses by, the provost and I both spoke, but the most important people who participated in that were 3 students that I want to acknowledge. In particular, one of them, Ms. Lea Corey, who's here getting her MBA degree today, and she was an undergraduate student a year ago, and she gave the graduate student commencement address, Someone, Somewhere. It was outstanding. It was really good. I encourage everybody to see it. Ms. Ayanna Hayes gave the undergraduate address, and Ms. Hayes is from Detroit, Michigan, and in Pod 3, she got her Bachelor of Science degree in biology, so now she's a member of our alumni. And her address, the Garden of Life, was really superb. She talked about her home physically and the garden, but it was obviously a statement about life, and it was so well delivered. And then thirdly, Ms. Maram Alfred-Johnny led a group of 16 undergraduate students, and because you were gracious enough to carry it in, and here it is, this is the graduation banner for the class of 21. I recognize that this is for a graduate commencement, but Maram led a group of students who put this together, and I will just note, because it's significant, that based on our understanding, this is only the 2nd time that a Heidelberg graduation banner has had 2 live or active languages as spoken at the time of that graduation on that banner. And so there may have been a banner that had Latin at one point, but that's not a common spoken language on earth. But here we have Arabic and English, so that is significant. We applaud that. We strive to be a global community, and also recognizing both the seriousness, the gravity of the pandemic and the economic crisis, but also there had to be levity at times. We need a sense of humor to get through life. It's part of being a human. I appreciated bringing Siggy onto this banner, and with a face mask, appropriately, but it looks to me with those eyes peering out over that mask that Siggy may be grinning underneath there. We'll never know for sure. I hope that's the only time we see Siggy with a mask on a banner, for the obvious reasons. But I thought, in both regards, well done. And when you finish, and when you walk off the stage and you've received your diploma case, and then, of course, later you'll get your diploma over in the atrium, you'll get across the carpeting. No one's tripped so far. No one's going to trip yet. We're going to get down the steps, and you'll receive a white rose. This is a tradition that we started 12 years ago, and this is a white rose out of our respect, our admiration, our encouragement as you commence. It's also out of friendship and love, our feelings about each and every one of you, and you can take that white rose and share it with whom you wish, but it's a symbol. Two of my colleagues are helping out with that, our Dean of Student Affairs, Dr. Chris Abrams, and Ms. Ashley Homestetter, who's the Executive Director of Alumni Engagement and Major Gifts. They will pass out those white roses. So that is a symbol of commencing, beginning the next stage of your lives. So I'll conclude by just congratulating all of the graduates here. And now we have an opportunity to hear two anthems, and they're both recorded. They both feature student voices, so I'm going to mention who is singing so you know and really appreciate that. The Fidelity, exclusive of A Passing Train, the Tiffin City Train Quiet Zone and Safety Zone project is supposed to be completed this calendar year. So I believe for the first time since train tracks showed up in Tiffin, this will be the last time we'll have to deal with this at a commencement exercise. But that notwithstanding, the fidelity on this music is really good. The first anthem is the Star-Spangled Banner, backed by the graduation band, and Professor Waters is conducting that. Mr. David Carey will be the vocalist, the soloist in that. He graduated in the first pod with a Bachelor's of Music degree. He's from Norwalk, Ohio. Beautiful voice, you'll hear him. And then Lift Every Voice and Sing will be the second anthem that we'll hear. And this will be performed by three students, one of whom graduated, but I'll mention her in a moment. So Alexandria Carter, who is a rising junior and a philosophy major, and she is from Spencerville, Ohio. She is one of the voices in that song. The second voice is, Elena Brock from Indianapolis, Indiana. She's also a rising junior, and she's a theater major. And in fact, she's been performing in 9 to 5. I had a chance to see her on Friday night, and that's the first time they've been able to perform in front of an audience in 15 months, the theater group, and they were excited and they did a great job. And then again, Ms. Ayana Hayes from Detroit, Michigan is the third voice in singing that, and she received her degree in the third pod. So enjoy, and at this point I would just invite everybody who's able and willing to stand up, and everybody who's able and willing to remove your caps or hats as we listen to both anthems, please. Thank you.
Through the
Please be seated.
Good afternoon. My name is Brian Smith, and I serve as the Interim Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost. And I would like to extend a sincere welcome to everybody here today. Thank you for visiting our beautiful campus on this nearly perfect weather day for this joyful occasion of celebrating commencement. This group of graduate students are about to join the ranks of the alumni of Heidelberg University and go on to do terrific things. Of that I am confident. My job is to read your names. But before we do that, just to review a few of the housekeeping items. As you come to the stage, you are welcome to remove your mask if you are comfortable. It makes for a better photo opportunity. And you walk across the stage, get your diploma cover, and you'll see 2 blue X's taped to the carpet. Please stop near the first X. President Huntington will meet you at the second X, and our photographer will take a picture of the 2 of you. So, before we begin the Master of Arts in Counseling and Master of Business Administration, I'm going to jump to the Master of Music Education because we have one graduate, Caitlin Foreman, in absentia. Now, would the Master of Arts in Counseling candidates please rise? Sarah Gwendolyn Barbin. Kylie Rain Burton Smiles. Caitlin Rose Marie Chrisman. Autumn Elizabeth Crawford. Annie Marie Demmeth. Congratulations. Shane M. Dunn. Wendy Fay. Alexis Flores. Allison Noel Heyman, in absentia. Jordan A. Hollenbeck. Krista Jean Holt, in absentia. Bridget Ann Hughes, in absentia. Margaret M. Lawrence, in absentia. Savannah Sue Long. William D. Mount, in absentia. Jennifer S. Musgrave. Niles Harley Nall. Savannah Leanne Noggle Baker. Mariah Elise Payne. Daniela Rios Gill, in absentia. Raven Rush. Teresa Lynn Schmidt. Abigail Geraldine Soliday, in absentia. Kelsey Ann Vasky. Will the candidates for the Master of Business Administration please rise? Braden J. and Sarah, in absentia. Alexander Matthew Arlano. Michael A. Bellin, Jr. Brianna Beeridge, in absentia. Richard Peter Bogatich III. Leah Renee Boyan. Emma W. Braley. Ryan Jose Campion. Brock M. Connor. Lea Marie Corey. Stephen J. Curry, in absentia. Marissa Jean Day. Cameron C. Deemer. Logan Clay Dwelly, in absentia. Sydney Aaron Fessler, in absentia. Jesse William Forstell, in absentia. James Robert Gephardt, in absentia. Jordan M. Gudorf. Mason William Haney. Ashley Taylor Hasselbach. Amanda Lynn Marie Hensley. Emily J. Homan, in absentia. William Horvat, in absentia. Reed A. Jacoby, in absentia. Timothy Joseph Jasper, in absentia. Kyle Jenkins. Daniel Isaiah Johnson, in absentia. Jalan E. Kemp. Kirsten Ida Kochel. Andrew M. Latimer, in absentia. Justine D. Little, in absentia. Anastasia Marie Lindemann. Olivia Marie Long. Nicholas A. Mancini, in absentia. Anna Elizabeth McNabb. Adam John Mahokey. Shelby Lynn Miller. Malik Musin Mohammed. Cassie Marie Moore. Maya Kathleen Morris. Kyle Morton. Garrett Mullet. Austin J. Naniger. Kyle Tennyson Nash, in absentia. Brandon Lanier Plyler, in absentia. Trace Tyler Reynolds. Caitlin Jean Romick, in absentia. Dylan M. Roth. Jorge Andre Salcedo Garcia, in absentia. Savannah Lee Sarkeen. Tate Daniel Shane, in absentia. Lauren Elizabeth Simonsky. Elora R. Stiltner, in absentia. Jessica Weaver. Taryn Ray Yalich.
And so, by the power and authority granted to me by the Board of Trustees of Heidelberg University, chartered by the state of Ohio, I confer upon you the appropriate master's degree for which you have met all the requirements. You are now entitled to all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto, both here and elsewhere. And so at this time, as a symbol of earning your degree, please move your mortarboard tassel to the left so we may congratulate all of you now. Yeah. Or as Miss Corey said around her talk the other day, and I won't have to take another accounting course or something like that. And I went, that's a flashback for me. I felt the same way. No offense to the accountants. So, it is now my pleasure to introduce Reverend Paul Citizen Stark, who will deliver the benediction for our ceremony today. Reverend Stark is the Director of Religious Life and Civic Engagement, both on this campus and across our community, which he pours a lot of energy into it. I want to acknowledge our baccalaureate service, a tradition that parallels our graduation ceremony. We've been doing a baccalaureate service with graduation for all these same years, and that was video recorded a couple of days ago as well. I encourage you to go online, go to our website, you can see it. Reverend Stark led that service. It featured four student speakers, all of whom did really great job sharing their views on their experiences in religious life. Reverend Dan Bush, who's the United Church of Christ relationship minister in our area with whom we work closely. But the feature was Reverend Mark Fry, class of 1973 of Heidelberg College, who is now retired but had a wonderful life both serving in churches, but was also on the ground floor with Habitat for Humanity, both in the United States and abroad, and had a wonderful baccalaureate address focused on friendship and love and friendship, right at the center of who we are and why we should be here. And I really think what you did, Paul, to organize that service like you do every year, to start it and to finish it was really superb. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, President Huntington. Thank you. I represent the faith community of the United Church of Christ that gave birth to Heidelberg, and the hope that your mission will be to live lives of purpose with distinction. Now, after a year or after years of learning, laughing, and sharing life with one another, now at your graduation, representing that same tradition, I offer this benediction. May the source of wisdom and love and kindness and justice and compassion and service surround you, infuse you, and inspire you as you now commence leading behind Heidelberg Graduate School and moving forward, ever learning, ever living, ever loving. Amen. Now please rise as you are able for the singing of our alma mater, my 2021 graduate Erica Warnke, with the Heidelberg Graduation Band under the direction of Mr. John Waters.
Please be seated. I consider it a really lucky day when I get to hear Erica Warnke's voice 5 times. She sang live the first time and then 4 recordings of that same performance. So before we wrap up, I want to express our institutional gratitude to all of the families and supporters of our graduating graduate students. I recognize that graduate students have a different relationship to an institution than undergraduate students do, although, again, about half of the students in front of me went to university here and about half didn't, but you had a relationship at your own school. The message I wanted to extend to all of the families and friends here behind you is thanks for supporting this institution in whatever ways you did to enable us to get to this moment. It was tough for everybody, starting a year ago, March, and I believe the World Health Organization declared a world pandemic on March 11th, 2020, and we didn't know much about what was going to happen, and things unfolded, and from the federal level, both the government and the agencies, to the state level, both the government and the agencies, to the local county and city governments and the agencies, we all had to deal with that as best as we could, and we did our best, and we've tried to follow all those rules and regulations, and then we had to make some judgments along the way, and however we could move forward, coming into this academic year with the intent of being here and running this place as best as possible in a traditional residential sense, with still remote learning, online learning as needed and as desired. But that, we made decisions. Some of those decisions you would have agreed with. Some of those I presume you would have disagreed with. I've received all sorts of feedback over the year based on what we've done and what we've tried to do. But on this point, I believe we would all be aligned then as we would be now. It was to get us to this point, to get us here, to bring us to May 16th so that we could celebrate. Unlike last year when we couldn't do this, we weren't allowed to gather in groups like this, and to really recognize the accomplishments of these wonderful students and, by extension, their families. So thank you for being part of that. Thank you for supporting that. And even when you disagreed, thank you for putting up with it. If you want to blame anybody, you can blame me, but we did the best we could to get us here, and we're delighted that you're all here. So thank you very much for being here. And with that, congratulations again. Let me just leave you with 4 very clear words of advice. I think as graduate students, you'll pick up on this quickly and be able to follow. In all of the places that you end up going and being, be sure that you stand with courage. Everywhere you go and whatever you do, be sure to make your voice heard and count. Thirdly, live your lives of purpose with distinction. That is your call and your definition, so you do that. And fourth and most importantly, if you want to do the first three, follow the marshals out. Thank you.